Alright, in this video now we are going to see what is like if you see, if I click on table 2, table 3 or table 4, every time what is happening is it is just displaying the table 1 value. That's what we are going to modify now. So we have to understand where this eighth one is coming from. So on the index we have used here. So this is the place we are receiving two values, and now we have to use the ajax $.get. The first one will be the URL and the second one will be the function, and that data will be modified over here. Fine. Now the URL is going to be cashier, and then display values. What do I mean by that? Display. We can name anything. So get sale details, and then we need to pass the ID. So the ID that we are going to pass is this one, and let's use this on route. More generic one. So get sale details, we have table ID, and then the controller, let's give the same name as of URL. So let's create a function. Sorry for that. Public function. So before doing anything, so here there is some big lines of code starting from here and ending over here. So we'll cut this and create private function xyz, any name, and it is returning HTML. Well, that's great. Now we have to pass this sale ID to this function, and now we have to get into the place where we removed, and $HTML equal to return HTML. Fine. Now let's check. Let's remove this and first check whether that's working or not. View tables. I want the details of A1. Click on weekend. Burger. There is an error. So actually we should use like this. $this view all table A1 order something called chole. So chole is available, and this thing is working because it is great that we have added this to the private function and we called it. Fine, that is working. Now let's work on this get function. Why I did this? Because we are going to use this over here. So here we would be getting table underscore ID. So now if you see what we can do, we are getting the table ID. So get the sale model and use the where clause, and it has table underscore ID column, and pass this variable and get the first column. Along with that, we need to add one more where clause where the status is unpaid, where status is unpaid. And store it into a variable called sale. If there is sale, then what we can do, we need to return the HTML. So if there is sale, let's get empty HTML. Else no data found. So here again we'll pass the HTML. To get the ID, we can use $sale, because this will have and save a sale ID. We'll pass this equal to. Make sure to add semicolon. Everything seems okay, and then return $HTML. Now let's refresh this. Click on A1, A2, not working. Let's see what is the issue. Network. I'm sorry for that. Here preview, it says column not found status, column not found status. Actually on sale table it's sale status. A1, yep, it is actually A2, no data. A3, B1, B3, no data. Fine, let's add one thing. Click, and you see it is added. Now let's add on E2, fried chicken. Great. Now we can switch between A1 and A2. A1, A2. Great. So here instead of A2, let's add a table. View table A1. Great. Now let's differentiate between the available table and unavailable table. At present we know A1 is available, A1 is unavailable, A2 is also unavailable, but B1 is available and B2 is available. So in that case, so we have to move to the controller, and let's see where we are added SVG. A1, A2, B1, B2. So where is the name? Yes, the name is coming over here. So this is a button. So we'll add this inside a span tag and have the class badge success and close the span tag. Fine. Now differentiate with color. Add a enter here, close the, and then open again. $HTML dot equal to concatenate. Now we need two sections. So let's close this button over here. So if then else, part there should be success. On if part there should be danger. So here we are on table. Let's check the table model. Here we have a column called status. Table dot status is equal to unavailable. If it is unavailable, then danger. If it is available, then success. Let's check. At present, first two is unavailable. Great. So that means this is unavailable, this is unavailable, and these two are available. No data found. So we can add the payment or the sales details here. Now let's display the total amount. So if you see, if I click here, A1, we have to display the total price here. So to get the total price, we have to count all this. So by default, we have already the table called sale, which holds the total price. If you see here, this is the total price. So we'll access this. So to get that, we have to get into the function, a reusable function we have used called private. So we have sale ID. So here you see the sale ID is actually the primary key. So before returning, concatenate the HTML dot equal to and now what we can do is, let's add h3, total amount, let's click, we should see the total amount. Yes, total amount, and then use a table sale colon find, pass the ID, and with this $sales total price, with this dot we have the function called table called total price. It's over here. Refresh this, view table, A1, total price is 1200. Again it's 100. Let's add one more menu, breakfast, fried chicken, chole, and my mouse has a mistake that if I click once it is inserting twice. Otherwise it's great. You see biryani, now it's total 800. So that's working. A1 and A2. So now let's create the confirm button here, confirm order button. So confirm button, data hyphen id equal to, will pass the sale id. Now let's check. View table, confirm button. It's confirm order. Now if I click inspect, I should get the data hyphen id as sale id. Fine, we are able to get. So you can make this as warning. We'll leave it primary. We'll design this at the end. And now we have to give the ajax. So let's give a button called btn confirm order. So here on the, we'll add $.on, click the confirm button and then the function. And now here we have to get the parent. We'll call this fine. Now if you see, let's say alert dollar this dot data, then we have id. I'm sorry for that. We should get the alert. Yep, that is great. Now we have to pass the id to the ajax request. So we know how to use ajax. Let's copy this and paste it, and we'll create the URL as confirm order, and we have to pass the sale id underscore id equal to sale underscore id. We don't need to pass these values. And fine. Now let's create the route. Cashier confirm order, and the confirm order is a function that is going to handle function, public function. Now let's work on the update query. So the relevant function, with the help of Ajax, we'll get the request REQ. We can give anything, but the object is request. And now if you see, with this we'll access and we'll store it as sale underscore ID. So let's add a event.stop event propagation, or else again it will cost twice. And then if you see, we want to update, get the sale details model. And here we have to use where clause, and we have a foreign key called sale ID. And this is the sale ID. And then we have to use update function, update where status is equal to confirmed. Once this is done, now we need to show the payment button if the order is confirmed. If the order is not confirmed, then we'll display the confirm order. Fine. Now if you see, just over here, so this is the place. So here we'll create a variable called show payment button. We'll make this as true, and now we have to use a for loop. If it is true, then show this, else if it is true, show the confirm. If it is true, then show the payment button, confirm payment, and we'll make this btn payment. And then everything seems alright. We'll make this success. So let's see what does it shows up. And it shows the payment. So we'll add a logic. Instead of this, what we'll do is, if status is equal to what do we have, not confirmed, then make this as false. Now let's see what else we have. Now we have confirm order. Now let's check. If I click on confirm order, these buttons, these confirm should change to confirmed. Yes, it says confirmed, and the payment is and the button is payment. Now let's check here, and this is confirm order and these are not confirmed. If I click confirm, and now we see the payment button. So after clicking, I want this to automatically show up. So for that, so you see we are setting the status to confirm, and then we have to pass the HTML like this as we previously do, like this one. Not here, just after the update. And now let's try this. And let's confirm this, and you see it does not hide, it shows because we have added this HTML. Now we have to show fontawesome icons for confirmed and non-confirmed. So for confirmed, this is tick. For non-confirmed, this is going to be trash can. So that is what we are going to do now. So the place where we have used true false for show button is a place that we are going to work on now. So just get this. So over here, what we do is we need this to be closed, and let's have another HTML. Close, and then let's close this as well. So let's get this. If it is not confirmed, we'll show the fontawesome now. Else, so the fontawesome icon is going to be check. We don't need this, I believe. Just replace the double quotes with single quotes, and again here again it is going to be trash can for not confirmed. We'll replace this over here as well, and we'll add this inside a button. btn danger, and we can add a class btn delete order, and paste the icon, close the button, alt set. Now we have closed the button. We don't need the status. Instead we want to have the ID, data ID, data hyphen ID, now let's check. View table, and there seems to be an error. Let's check what it is. Console. We have stopped this. Everything seems okay. Then why it's not showing up? On the network tab, over the request header, it says no error, no messages of error. Let's pause and search. And one more thing, it is going to be ID, not status, but that does not has to do with our error, just a change. And now you see, it is because we have to select a menu. That's only when it shows. Fine. Now these are confirmed and this is not confirmed, so if I click confirm here, it is also confirmed. The same way, let's click confirm, and now if you see, the status are confirmed. So it is working as we thought. So actually I found the error. It took some time. So if I click here, the data is not fetching, right? So for that I mistakenly removed return previously. That's the reason why I could not able to display, but somehow I found it. Fine. Now if you see, we can see the values. If you wish to add one more thing, you're free to go. Now let's work on this delete button. So we have created, we have added the button delete with the data ID. So this is the class name which we can access it. Delete the order. So this is the button. So on the jQuery we have to use click event, like what we did here. Just copy paste the same thing one more time. There is a button name called delete order, and event propagation, everything seems fine. Now Ajax, instead of confirm order, the route is going to be delete order, and then we are passing the token. That's great. Then this third ID, it also has the ID and sale ID stored, and everything seems fine. Now let's work on this on the web.php. Control B to open the Explorer. Resources, we need to get into the web.php, routes, web.php. So you see confirm order over here. Now let's create this for delete. Make sure we are using post. Let's get into the cache controller. What do we call this? Come on, confirm. So here we have it. Just copy paste it one more time. Here the function name is going to be delete order. Now if you see, let's work on the controller. Okay, so we get the request sale ID. Now get the model, which is sale details. Along with that, what we are going to do is we need to update the payment as well. After deleting the order, the payment need to be deleted as well. Find, then pass the sale ID, and store it sales detail, and after finding it, get the ID of the particular row. Sorry, what we need is we need to get let's check the table first. On the sale detail, we need to get the sale ID. So this is the primary key. Actually, this is the foreign key for sale detail, but primary key for sales. So with this, we can access the total price and modify it. Fine. Now we have accessed the sale ID, and let's save this. $_ sale table sale ID, and this is what you will get from the request. And after that, and now what we are going to do is we delete this table or delete this table. So just before deleting, what we need is with this we have menu price column, so we want to update this menu price equal to menu price into quantity. Sorry for that. And we'll store this into a variable called menu price. Now let's get the sale table. So here we have sale underscore tbl, and here it has a column called total price. Total price, and we want to subtract the total price with the menu price. And after that, I want to save this table. And now let's check whether there is any sale detail left or not. If it is left, so get the sale detail and use where we have the column called sale ID. If anything exists, then store it into a variable called x. If this exists, else it doesn't exist. If it exists, what we have to do is we have to display the value sale ID. Yes, this is working. If not, just say no data found and return the HTML. If everything works fine, let's check again. View table, so let's try to delete this. Let's try to add first and delete again. Okay, delete, not working. Let's check what is the error that is causing not to delete this. Delete order, server error, delete order, this seems to be no problem here. Let me debug the code. Network, let's try to click over here, header, this attempt to read property sale ID of null, attempt to read sale ID. But which sale ID? we have to use whenever we use where, it is necessary to use get or first. This type of mistake we have already seen previously. Let's try to add. Let's try to delete. Again. 500. Network. Click here. Attempt to read sale ID of null. If it shows the HTML, then it would be, sorry, if it shows a line, then it would be even more useful, but it is not showing up. We have to find it. Let's try here first. Actually, we have to pass this sale ID instead of this. Let's try for the last time, or else we have to rewrite the code. Yep. $1,400. If I click remove, it is 1,100. Great. 3,400. Let's add 3,700 because 300 is added. Let's remove this. Now it's 3,400. Great. The same way, why it is 2,800 when there is only 500? We have to check that. Fine, there seems to be an error, but I have deleted it and added again, so now it's working as we thought. Now let me order some other dish. Pizza, butter chicken, confirm order, and now payment is right. Now in this section we'll create a model called Bootstrap model and display the total payment amount. So now let's get into the Bootstrap for model. And now just copy the whole code, paste it on the category index.blade.php just above the script tag. And this ID, this is going to trigger the model, so let's copy that, and let's see where I have used payment button. So let's add this. Let's make sure that we are using sorry for that, single quotes instead of double quotes. Fine. Now along with data ID, let's add a data total payment, then pass this total price over here. Now let's check, click on inspect. By that time let's select a table which has total amount. Total amount here is 900. So here the data, so you see data total payment has 900. Now once I click here, model should open. So in place of model, what we do is payment. So inside the model body, let's have S3 that will have class that we have class, and the class will have btn, or what we call payment, or let's say total payment, or let's make this as an ID. So let's get into the Bootstrap. So using the event delegation, on click we have added a button btn payment, and this has an attribute called total payment, which we have just created. I will save it inside total payment. We are not going to use Ajax. Instead, we need an ID call this from in the jQuery dot text and pass this text. Now let's check. Click this table and click payment. There is an error on JavaScript jQuery. Let's check the jQuery. Inspect console. There seems to be no error, but there is no output as well. So that means something is wrong. So let's comment this and try. Okay, there seems to be an error on click. Okay, I have removed the event propagation. Plus now let's check. It says undefined. Why is that so? Data hyphen let's make this as number underscore format. Again undefined. What I did is, instead of using data function, I use attribute function and pass the whole attribute and received the payment. Now I can get the values. It's 900. It's 1100, and finally 3400. Fine. Now let's work on change. And now we are going to show the change. So likewise, so if you see, I'm going to add a text box. So let's get to the index. We have a modal. Just below here we'll add a input type text and class form control, and we'll add the ID as received amount. Let's save it over here, and we'll have a button called save payment. By default, let's make it as disabled, and let's add a class let's add a class what btn underscore save payment. And now this seems to be okay, and we need to have h3 again. We'll give id show change. So we have 3. So we have to write a key up function for the model dollar dot key up So on key up function we have to get the this is id, this is a class. We'll make this as an id, so don't have to confuse id and id. Fine. Now what we do is we need to get we'll just copy this total payment, but instead of this it is going to be the button, and then we have input field received amount dollar dot value, and we'll store it into the variable called received amount, and then we will calculate underscore change equal to total amount minus received amount, and then we'll use the jQuery show change and pass this over here. And now let's try. Payment, it says 900, let's type 500. Let's click inspect. There seems to be no error, so let's console this value. So this thing is working. Let's check whether this thing is working or not. I think this one will give an error. That's the reason why we could not get it. So let's test. So no, 900 is working. Then what is the thing that is causing the issue? Let's calculate the change. Click on payment. 1000. Let's 500. It says not a number. So here this is what causing the issue. Let's say convert string to integer in JavaScript. I think it's %. The same way. Payment 500. total amount subtracted with received. How much we are getting? Okay, we need to remove. Let me check the total payment. How does we are getting it? You see, we are getting big comma. That's the reason. So there is one value as per Stack Overflow. What we can do is total payment command 10. Let's try this one. Not working. Let's try this. So that seems to be fixed. Click on any table and click on show payment, type 1000 and fine. If I type 1100, it says 0, and if I type 1000 then 100 remaining. Fine, that is great, that's what we need. Now let's click here and add some padding top class, margin top of 3. And now what we can say here is change. He paid 500, 400 remaining, and he paid 1000. We have to enable the button. We should only enable if the change value is greater. If the change value is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, then call the button $prop disabled true. Sorry, disabled, I need to make it false, else I want to make this true. Press this again. Payment 900. So it's disabled now. So instead of making it 0, if change value is greater than or equal to the total payment value, then make it enable. So if I say 500, no change. So if I make it 900, no change. So if I make it 901, so we have to add a logic. Fine, we'll leave it as it is, but we have a major issue. which is, I'll close this and let's add one more dash and click on confirm and payment. You see what we added last time, the data is still available. What we need to do is we need to change this. So now on the payment, so this is the payment, I believe. Yeah, this is the payment. We want to call the change. We want to make the received amount as blank, and then this text to blank. Now let's check. So payment 900, so here if you see there is a mistake, 150. So the change is not 150. Oh, where is it? It's not change, it's remaining. He has to pay 850. So there, instead of change, it would be remaining, and then here $900, so remaining 100. So he is paying more, so we cannot add payment. So he is paying more, so we cannot add the payment. So he is paying less and the remaining is 500. So after getting, we can add the payment. Now I'm closing the model and adding one more item and adding the payment. And now if I click on payment, the model is blank. Fine, that is what we need, and it is completely done. So what we do is we'll make the change, because we want to save the data of change value. So we'll make the receive amount bigger than the total amount. So we'll add a change over here. So if you see, $1,149. Fine, that is working. So now 5 rupees change. Now we'll save this into the database. And now we have to update the payment. So for that, we have to change the status from unpaid to paid, and we have to add the payment type. To add the payment type, what we need to do is we need to create a select tag. So let's get into the model, and in the model we have change. Let's place this change over here, and then we'll have a input, or let's say form group. Inside form group we'll have label, and this label will have payment type, and then we have select. We'll give this payment underscore type. We can add the class as Bootstrap class, form, control, and the option. And here it is going to be cash or credit card, and let's add one more value and make it as blank. selected and disabled. It is selected and it won't be disabled. Now let's check how does it looks. Payment, and you see cash or credit is available. If I type 1500, fine. Now now let's click on save payment. So here we have a button, so let's add an event listener, $hash dot click function. So here we need to get the payment type, we need to get the received amount. Fine. Now dollar, the same way, this is received amount and this is payment type. Fine. Now we want the sale ID. Why do we need sale ID? Because you see there is a sale ID. This is the ID. So here we can get the sale ID from here. So if you see, if I click inspect, we have passed sale ID over here. So if you see data ID, sale ID is 2. So to access it, what we have to do is we have to declare a global variable. Just like what we did here, sale underscore ID. It should be blank by default. Sales underscore ID. So when I click on a button, confirm order, what I need to do is I need to get this and store it into a variable, sale ID. Now this variable will be set. So once if the value is set, we can access it over here. Now to test this, let's add this inside the alert, sales underscore ID, alert, refresh it, select the table, there's an error, sales ID is not defined. From which place? Console. Let's try. It is equal to. I think that should be the reason why we got an error, because we have used minus in place of equal to. $1500, and we should get the ID. If we are not getting the ID, that means there's an error. So let's alert it over here whether we are getting the ID from here. So we are not getting the ID. So instead of alert, why don't we use console.log? So let's check whether the button is right. Is it confirm order? So there seems to be no button. Let's check what is the button name here. It's BTN payment. I'm sorry for that. We have to get this and see where is BTN payment. Here it is. And this BTN payment itself has an ID. So you see data-ID. It's there. Now this is set, and now let's check. We should get properly alert message. $1500. Click on save payment and we are getting the ID. Fine, it's working as we thought, but it is making 2 times. So we have to use e dot event propagation. Dot stop event propagation. And now to check after stopping event propagation, click on payment 1100, save payment 3, and now we got only 1 time alert. And now let's add the Ajax function, which is this one. Copy the whole thing, save payment is a URL, and we are not passing any ID so far now. So if there is a result, then we need to window dot location dot href equal to, and then what we are going to do is we want to redirect to cashier URL. So what is cashier? So this is the URL I want to reload after success message. So let's create the save payment request, which is post again URL and a function that is going to deal here. Public function Now let's pass the value inside the Ajax. So we need to pass sale ID. So let's see the format that we have used earlier. Don't forget to add a comma. So we need to pass sale ID, we need to pass payment type, we need to pass received amount. Payment type. So we'll pass like this. Now we can access these values inside the function request $req. So we have 3 variables. So let's get these 3 variables. This is the PHP, so $ is mandatory. So now let's update this on a table. So where is the controller? This is the controller, and the relevant table here is this is the controller, model colon find, pass the sale ID, it acts as a primary key, $sale equal to, now we can access individual column name with this and then store the value over here. So likewise we need to add some more values. So let's see, the first thing we need to add is total received. Let's change the payment type first. Payment type is this one, which we'll receive it from the URL. And the second one is status. We'll make this a string paid, and then we have total received or total received, and this is going to be let's see. So total received, I will receive it from here, amount received, and there is a column called change, and this change will get the total price. Total price is over here. This is a column name subtracted with the amount we received, and then done, and then finally save. After saving, we want to make the table as available. We'll do that. Now let's update the table. So to update a table, we have table model. Let's see whether we have called here or not. Table model is available. Table model :find, then pass the, sorry, not on the table model. So here if you see, this sale already has table. So let's get this. And store it $T $tabs, and here it has status, and make it available, and then save the table. After saving, return cashier. Now we are returning the cashier. We don't need to insert cashier here, we'll just use the result. Now let's check if there is no error. New table. Let's clear this table A1. Payment, they have paid 3400, and the payment is from cash. Save payment. Console, sale ID is not defined. Actually it's sales ID, not sale ID. This is this one. And now here on model we have close, so we'll remove this and let's try again. Payment 3400, and by cash. Save payment. Not working. Let's check why it's not working. Console, type. On the network, see. So there seems to be no save payment. Let's check by using hello. $3400. Save payment. It says hello, but there is an error. There is an error. Actually, this is an input field, so it is value dot val, and this is also a select tag. Would use val. Now let's try. $3,400 cash, and it says it is cleared. Great, we done it. That means if you see, the table is available as well. Let's clear this data and let's clear this payment, 1,150, and the payment is by credit card, and payment is done. Let's click on save. Save. It is working, but it's taking some time. Now let's see. This is also available, and now we want to show the receipt. Like if I click on payment, model will pop up, and if I pay the correct amount and click on save payment, you see it, the table is available now. But what we need to do is, I want to redirect to a page called show receipt. So show receipt, and after that we'll pass the ID as a URL. Now we have to specify this on route. More generic comes at the top. Cashier, so receipt, and this is the function we are going to work on. And now we'll get sale underscore ID. Let's create a function on the controller. Can access by this way, but we'll not get an ID. We'll get the sale ID. We'll copy the sale ID. Yes, underscore ID. Sorry for that. We need to specify $, and now you see we have already used such things. Payment and the ID. Let's remove this. Everything seems alright, but what is that causing the issue? Cannot redeclare save payment. Save payment is already there. We have to make it show receipt. Fine. Now we have to get the sale, so which we have already done this. And let's get the sale detail as well. Where is the sale detail? Yeah, here it is. Just pass the sale ID, and now this get. Okay, now let's redirect to a view with variables like this. So we'll call this as show receipt, and we are passing sale, and again sale detail as well. Fine. Let's create a page called show receipt on the view folder. View. inside that we have cashier. Let's save this as show receipt dot blade dot php, and it is okay to be blank. Let's get this whole thing. We don't need script as well. Fine. Now inside here we'll have a div called container. Inside container we'll have receipt header. Likewise we have receipt body, receipt footer. And finally we'll have inside that we'll have a h3, the restaurant name, amongst restaurant, and if you want you can add the address, and on the footer we'll just say thank you. And in body we'll have a table with class table, and then we have table head, table row, table data, which will have some columns. Like first one is going to be the number, then menu, then quantity, then price, then total. Likewise we'll have t body, table row, table data, table. Before writing this, let's add for each @ for each, and the data that we receive is sale detail as $sale detail. Then where the t body tr close @ end for each, and here we'll get this and we'll use the column name menu name. So this is simply, the first one is going to be the ID. We'll declare $count equal to 0, and then we'll add count plus plus. So this is menu. Likewise we have quantity, price, total. Quantity, menu price, and the total is going to be the multiplication of menu price and quantity. And now let's check. Let's order some values. Seafood, tandoori, there seems to be an error. It is not allowing us to add up menus. Let's see the console. Order food. So network, click over here, click here. Error exception. Why is that? Attempt to read property ID on null. So this is order food. Go to order food. Attempt to read function ID of null. Attempt to read property ID on null. Well, could be the ID. Okay, you see, this is it, because we have not logged in. I got it. Login. Cashier. View table. Select a table. Select a menu. Confirm payment. Pay the order. Save payment. Now we should get redirected to that. Okay, great, it is working fine. If you see, seafood quantity 1 500, that is working. Now let's remove this data table just by removing the class called table. Let's see how does it looks. Fine, we'll design it by CSS. Zoom in a bit. And now if you see, we need to add one more table that will have table row, table data, the first one is total quantity, the second one is the actual value, and the third one is total price, and then the actual value. Now we can access this with the help of the sale. Don't forget to add dollar. We can access the column total price. So actually it will come here, and then we have sale detail count function. It should be 1, total quantity 1, total price 500, and then again call span 2, same way. Remove these and let's check how does it looks. And payment type, you can get the payment type or else we'll do this again. Don't use call span at all. Payment type, paid amount paid, and we can get the payment type over here. This is the column name, and then paid amount, which is amount received, and finally change. Change, we have a column called change itself. Let's refresh and check. Payment type does not exist. So actually it's sale detail, it's sale, not sale detail. Now it should work. Payment type cash. So we'll make it call span 2. Close the tr here, tr here, tr here. Open the tr here, over here, and let's check. Payment type cash, payment amount, change. Fine. Now let's add 2 buttons at the bottom. Row call 12. Sorry, call 6 and call 6. Anchor tag semicolon void on click window dot print return false. It says print. Let's click and check whether it is working or not. Print. Where the C is capital. Print is a function. Fine, you see the page is getting printed. Yep, now we'll design this and make it really good. And the second thing, I want to go back. Go back. We don't need this click. We want this to go to cashier. Go back and print. Fine. Now let's go back. And if you see, let's order one more time. Choose hard refresh, view table, select a table, select a dish. Not working. Let's check console. What does it say? It says there is an error on the controller. This is the function that has got any error. Network tab. Click here. There is no return message. See on route controller. Now let's check. Tandoori, chicken tikka, malai kofta. Confirm payment. I have paid 651. Credit card. Save. 3 items. Total quantity 3. Total price 650. Credit card and change. If you want, you can print. Let's go back. So the go back button is causing unnecessary issue. What we'll do is we'll simply, I think this is causing the issue. Let's check for the last time. go back. Yeah, that was the issue and I have solved it. Now let's design this file. So let's name this table as the same for this guy. So we can open the style.css on public CSS, custom CSS. We'll make this table width of 250 pixel, margin top 0. So this will make it at the center. Great. Now inside the custom table we have t head, background black, color white, and inside that t head we have table row and table data 1 2 3 4 5. So let's give each of them with 20%. And now let's go back and let's try to add some more column. Pizza, burger, breakfast, chicken tikka, confirm, payment 700, cash, save payment. And now you see starting from 1, press this, and let's add these two inside table row as well. Anchor tag with go back and anchor tag with print button. We'll remove this total row. Fine. Now if you want, we'll add a text center, so that will arrange the restaurant name and thank you at the center. If you print, you see we are now able to print. So I want a button not to print, so I'll add a class called no print, so that I will add to the, where is it, button, here is it, class no print. Now let's check whether while printing whether we are able to see the buttons or not. Now if you see, the button is not there. Great. So now we are able to print the receipt. Let's go back If the ID is making issue, instead of count, we'll just pass the ID itself. Remove the count, pass the ID itself. And now there won't be count, there will be simply ID. Fine, that's working. So if you want, you can give background color here as well. So likewise, we can create a class. TD. The class name itself is TD. Class TD. Print. Fine, that is okay. If you want, you can make this full width as well. Sorry for that. Now let's check. Create total quantity. So if I if I order more than one item, a long list, let's check how does it looks. Let's order a long list. Dinner, tandoori, burger, kebab, pizza, chicken tikka, fried chicken chole, biryani, butter chicken, malai kofta. Pay. Total is 1950. Paid by cash. Save. Fine. These are the list. And now we see 9 quantity cash. Change 0 print